Most people think getting rich feels exciting. They imagine a sudden moment, a big win, a dramatic change, more money, more confidence, more freedom instantly. But real wealth doesn't usually arrive like that. In fact, for most people, getting rich feels boring, slow, and sometimes even uncomfortable. It feels like nothing is happening, and that's exactly why so many people give up too early. Because the truth is this: if you're actually building wealth, it often doesn't feel like success at all. It feels like restraint. It feels like patience. It feels like saying no when everyone else says yes. So today, let's talk about the quiet signs, the subtle signs, the signs that don't show up on social media but matter far more in real life. Here are 8 signs you're secretly getting rich, even if you don't feel like it yet. Sign number 1. You think long-term more than short-term. One of the clearest signs you're building wealth is invisible. It's how you think. When you start choosing long-term outcomes over short-term pleasure, something has shifted inside you. You don't ask, how will this make me feel today? You ask, how will this affect me in 5 years? That might look like saying no to impulse spending, delaying upgrades you can afford, choosing consistency over excitement. This doesn't feel glamorous. In fact, it often feels like you're missing out. But long-term thinking is the foundation of every wealthy person you'll ever meet. Because wealth isn't built in moments, it's built in patterns. And once your thinking changes, your results eventually follow, even if there's a delay. Sign number 2. Your lifestyle is growing slower than your income. This is one of the strongest indicators of real progress. When your income increases, but your lifestyle stays mostly the same, you create something powerful: margin. Most people do the opposite. They earn more and immediately spend more. Bigger rent, new car, more subscriptions, more pressure. But when your lifestyle grows slower than your income, the gap between what you earn and what you spend begins to widen. That gap is where wealth lives. And here's the part no one tells you. This stage feels weird. You might earn more than before, yet still live simply. You might feel like you're behind others who appear more successful, but behind the scenes, you're building leverage, and leverage is quiet until it isn't. Sign number 3. You care more about net worth than income. At some point, something shifts. You stop focusing only on how much you make and start paying attention to what you keep. Net worth becomes more interesting than salary. Assets become more interesting than purchases. You start asking, do I own this or does it own me? Is this growing or just consuming? Will this help me later or just impress today? This change doesn't happen overnight. It usually comes after mistakes, after spending money on things that didn't actually improve your life. When you start thinking this way, you're no longer just earning money, you're building structure. And structure is what separates earners from owners. Sign number 4. You feel financially bored, and that's good. This might sound strange, but it's true. When your finances become boring, predictable, and calm, you're doing something right. No constant emergencies, no panic decisions, no emotional money swings, just steady progress. Most people associate excitement with success, but wealth is often repetitive. Automatic savings, regular investing, consistent habits. It's boring, and boring is powerful, because boring systems run even when motivation disappears. Sign number 5. You're comfortable not looking rich. This is a big one. When you stop trying to look rich, you're often on the path to actually becoming rich. You no longer need validation through spending. You don't feel pressure to upgrade for appearances, to keep up with trends, to prove success externally. Instead, you focus on internal stability, peace of mind, freedom, options. This stage can feel isolating because you may look average while building something extraordinary behind the scenes. But real wealth rarely announces itself. It compounds quietly. Sign number 6. You're investing in invisible things. At some point, your spending shifts. You start putting money into things people can't see: skills, education, health, networks, assets. There's no applause for this. No one compliments your retirement account. No one notices your growing skill set. But these invisible investments produce visible results, eventually, and the people who win long-term are almost always the ones who invested when no one was watching. Sign number 7. You worry less about money even if you have less than others. This is one of the most misunderstood signs. You can be getting richer even if you have less money than people around you, because peace doesn't come from having more, it comes from having control. When your bills are predictable, your savings are growing, your direction is clear, money stops dominating your thoughts. You still care, but it no longer controls you. That mental freedom is usually the earliest form of financial freedom, and it usually appears long before the numbers look impressive. Sign number 8. You're building momentum, not chasing miracles. Finally, the most important sign of all, you've stopped looking for shortcuts. No get-rich-quick schemes, no overnight success fantasies, no constant strategy hopping. Instead, you focus on small improvements, repeating what works, and letting time do its job. Momentum is subtle. Day to day, it feels slow, but over years, it becomes unstoppable. And once momentum is on your side, wealth becomes less about effort and more about patience. Why it doesn't feel like success yet? Here's the hard truth. The early and middle stages of wealth building don't feel rewarding. They feel delayed. You do the right things and nothing seems to happen. That's where most people quit. But those who understand the delay keep going, and one day the results show up all at once. Not because of luck, but because of consistency. If you don't feel rich yet, that doesn't mean you're failing. It might mean you're early. Wealth doesn't announce itself at the beginning. It whispers. And if you listen closely, you'll realize you're further ahead than you think.